We are going to start with the Embedding Social Science and Humanities across H2020 presentation. For brevity's sake, I will be calling Social Science and Humanities SSH, but hopefully this is wonderfully familiar to you all. So the Embedding SSH agenda, the idea is that SSH research will be fully integrated into each of the general objectives of Horizon 2020. So the social sciences and humanities obviously encompass a wide range of disciplines, and contributions from these varied fields of activity and research are needed under H2020 to not just generate new knowledge and support evidence-based policy making, but also developing key competences and producing truly interdisciplinary solutions to societal and technological issues, really ensuring that topics like competitiveness, climate change, energy, security, public health are addressed in a complex and multifaceted way so that the impacts of the research are fully felt and realised. So this is a similar diagram to the one I showed you earlier, but just to emphasise that embedding SSH is supposed to be across all of the H2020 pillars. And in fact, although I've spent a lot of our time talking about Societal Challenge 6, I just wanted to draw your attention to this interesting pie chart, which shows that 67% of the funding allocated to SSH research in 2016, and it was a similar amount before that, was allocated outside of Societal Challenge 6. So the vast majority of funding available for SSH researchers is actually outside of Societal Challenge 6. So it's just really to flag that there are hundreds of opportunities for social science researchers, and really just not to limit yourself to the one Societal Challenge 6 work programme. The total amount of budget allocated to SSH partners in SSH flag topics was 181 million euros, and that's excluding ERANET's co-funds and public procurement. So that's only looking at research and innovation actions and CSAs. But this was just 20% of the estimated total budget for 2016 SSH flag topics, which was 891 million euros. So there's a lot of scope for this to improve even further. I should mention that the data is from 2016 because this is from the most recent monitoring report from the European Commission. So it's called the third monitoring report on SSH flagged projects funded in 2016 under the Societal Challenges and Industrial Leadership Priorities. I will be sharing the link to that at the end of the presentation. It's well worth a read. It's very interesting, and I think it will, it just includes a lot of information on the budget going to SSH, the level and type of involvement of SSH partners, how this varies by country, the distribution by discipline. So lots of disciplines are not represented outside of Societal Challenge 6, even though there is scope for them to be represented. Also includes some best practice examples. It's also worth noting that SSH is included in the evaluation criteria, so proposals submitted for topics flagged for SSH contributions should contain meaningful integrated contributions from SSH researchers. So these shouldn't be just tagged on the end. These should be in there from the beginning, from conception, working right the way through the proposal to dissemination. The evaluators are briefed on how to identify and evaluate SSH aspects, and evaluation panels include SSH expertise. So, looking at SSH opportunities in excellent science, it's worth mentioning that as the NCP for Societal Challenge 6, my knowledge on the first two pillars is not as in-depth as other NCP's knowledge. If you have a question about a different part of H2020 funding, by all means get in contact. I may then redirect you to someone who will be more able to answer your query, but don't hesitate to get in contact. We'll be able to find the right person together. So SSH in excellent science, these are the main opportunities. These are all bottom-up opportunities, so hopefully you will have heard of most of them. European Research Council is kind of what I like to think of the European version of ESRC's responsive mode. Future and emerging technologies research. You've got and you must excuse my accent, the Marie Skłodowska-Curie actions, giving opportunities for mobility. And of course, there's major research infrastructures being supported by H2020 in SSH research. In industrial leadership, this pillar aims to speed up the development of technologies and innovation that will underpin tomorrow's businesses and help innovative European SMEs to grow into world-leading companies. So SSH in this pillar should be strengthening the cultural and social aspects of the innovation. It's really making sure that any technologies used are relevant, usable, accessible for all European citizens and beyond, and making sure that collaborative co-production and social science methods are used from the beginning, as well as when disseminating technologies. And finally, the societal challenges. So we have spoken a lot about societal challenge 6, but there are, of course, the other 6 societal challenges. I think 3 and 4 might be the wrong way around here. I think transport and energy are the other way around. But here, just some ideas of how SSH can contribute to each of the societal challenges. Understanding the determinants of health and optimizing the effectiveness of healthcare provisions, robust decision-making on energy policy and a transition to a sustainable energy system. So it's not just about the technologies behind energy usage, but really how those are going to apply to real life, how they're going to solve problems. We need SSH researchers to be involved in all of these discussions, all of these research proposals, for the good of everyone, to make sure that these technologies are really applied well. Right, in order to identify opportunities for SSH in the 2019-2020 work programs, you can easily use the flagging tool on the new funding and tenders portal. I've got a link in there which I will share when we share the slides later on, but I've also just done some screenshots, so hopefully this will make it easier for you to identify how to do it when you get there. If you go to the Funding and Tenders Opportunities homepage, just in the bottom right you should be able to click on the Horizon 2020 button indicated by that red arrow. Then you get to this page, and if you just scroll down on the right hand side, you will see at the bottom right in the filter by cross-cutting priorities, social sciences and humanities. If you successfully click on this, you should get through to 117 calls. 96 of these are currently open on my last check, and 21 are forthcoming. And once you're through to the SSH flag topics, you can toggle and filter by program part, by focus area. We spoke about the boosting the effectiveness of the security union earlier, so you can toggle by those focus areas, or you can search by keywords. So this is a really flexible way to look across all of the opportunities for SSH researchers and get one that's exactly suited for you. I've also got some screenshots for use on the old participants portal, although you do have to fight quite hard to use this these days, as the pop-up comes up every time you click, so perhaps you won't be battling that hard and you'll just be using the new one. But in case you do want to use the old participants portal, it's a similar method, but just scrolling down to the left-hand side until you get to the social science and humanities option there. Another resource which I really want to heavily flag is Net for Society's report. opportunities for researchers from the socio-economic sciences and humanities in Horizon 2020. Net for Society is the international network of NCPs for Societal Challenge 6. So for every work programme, Net for Society produce a report on the opportunities for SSH researchers, and this document contains information on all of the SSH flag topics. It's based on the analysis of the SSH relevant topics carried out by Net for Society and also by the Directorate General for Research and Innovation. It contains loads of information, easily searchable, and I can't recommend it enough if you're looking to widen your search for topics outside of Societal Challenge 6. It has 3 levels of SSH flag topics, so you've got dedicated topics, relevant topics, and topics with minor SSH relevance. So an example of a dedicated topic is SWOS 11, and this is scenarios for an award or certification system for gender equality in research organisations and universities in Europe. This has a deadline of the 2nd of April. It's a research and innovation action, maximum duration of 24 months and a budget of around 1.5 million euros. So this is a fully dedicated SSH topic which isn't in Societal Challenge 6, so please do have a look. Another SSH relevant topic, so it's not dedicated, it's kind of the tier below, mitigating household energy poverty. So this is within Societal Challenge 3, the Energy Challenge, and this is really to facilitate behaviour change and implementation of low-cost energy efficiency measures tailored for energy-poor households. So proposals will be supporting the setup of financial and non-financial support schemes for energy efficiency, or small-scale renewable energy investments for energy-poor households. So this is a coordination and support action, proposals between 1 and 2 million euros, and the deadline is the 3rd of September this year. An example of a topic with minor SSH relevance, fueling the potential of advisors for innovation. So this is within Societal Challenge 2, food securities, and this is another coordination and support action, a minimum 4-year duration, so up to 5 million euros available. The deadline is very shortly, 23rd of January 2019, so I'd suggest if you're not already involved, it might be too late, but I really wanted to emphasise that there are so many opportunities available in probably the least likely corners that you might expect. It's well worth a search. And one last topic which I couldn't resist including, visionary and integrated solutions to improve well-being and health in cities. Now, there's so much scope for social science and humanities in this. The factors mentioned include exposure to pollutants, including noise, disasters, stresses and diseases, urban density, lack of physical activity, degraded ecosystems, and erosion of natural capital. So, a quote from the detail on this topic: the systemic integration of social, cultural, digital and nature-based innovation in the design, development and governance of public space has a tremendous potential to transform these spaces into diverse, accessible, safe, inclusive and high-quality green areas that increase well-being and health and deliver a fair and equitable distribution of the associated benefits. So really this topic is looking for the involvement of loads of social science and humanities disciplines, psychology, behavioural science, economics, architecture, design studies, proposals up to 10 million euros. It's an innovation action, and this is a 2-stage process. So the first stage has a deadline of the 19th of February. Second stage has a deadline of the 4th of September. I don't know too much about the 2-stage evaluation process, but the first stage only has 2 criteria, so it's a short proposal, and then the second stage is a complete proposal, so all criteria are considered. So more useful links for you. I've included the European Commission's SSH monitoring report, the Net for Society opportunities document, so there's a full version and a short version. There are also really valuable resources everywhere on the Net for Society website. Please take a look. In particular, there's some embedding SSH success stories, And again, I've just directed you to the Embedding SSH section of the online manual. Thank you for listening to all of that. These are the details for the cross-cutting NCP mailbox. So if you've got queries which are specifically relating to embedding SSH across H2020, then please direct them here. Of course, I won't ignore you if you email the other mailbox. It just makes things easier to file. And a link here to other UK NCPs details in case you want to look for some more detailed answers on a specific topic.